After I was reborn, I returned to my 18th birthday gala. My hypocritical stepsister was holding my ex-fiance's arm, smiling at me like she had already won. The host announced that I would receive 10% of the family corporation's shares. In front of every guest, I declined the gift and announced that I was cutting all ties with this family. Then I raised my glass and smiled as I announced that, with the air in my belly, I would inherit the entire estate of my ex-fiance's sworn enemy, his billionaire uncle, the man rumored to have no interest in women. The spotlight burned against my skin, and the air around me seemed to freeze. The guests stared at me with shock, disgust, and the eager excitement of people waiting for a scandal to explode. My adoptive father, Robert, was the first to react, and he rushed onto the stage, lowering his voice as he roared, "Ava, have you lost your mind? Do you even know what nonsense you're saying?" My adoptive mother, Claire. "Ava, apologize to everyone right now and tell them you had too much to drink. Don't embarrass yourself here." I looked at their anxious faces, which held not a trace of real concern, and my heart went cold. So this was my family. In my last life, at this very same gala, they sent me away with a mere 10% of the shares, throwing me out like an old piece of furniture, while Sophia, the fake heiress who had stolen my place, accepted everyone's blessings like the true princess of the Bennett family. I had naively believed that if I was obedient enough, I could earn even a little affection from them. In the end, all I got was a carefully planned car crash. The baby that had just begun forming inside me disappeared with me too. In this life, I would not make the same mistake again. I ignored my furious adoptive parents, looked past them, and stared straight at Ethan Reed, whose face had turned livid, and Sophia, who leaned against him while pretending to be weak and innocent. "I'm crazy?" I picked up the microphone, and though my voice was not loud, it carried clearly through the entire ballroom. "The ones who are truly crazy are all of you. The Bennett family raised me, and for 18 years, even if I did not deserve credit, I still suffered for this family. But at my 18th birthday gala, you want to kick me out with 10% of the shares so you can make room for your real precious daughter, Sophia." That little scheme was so loud I could hear it from across town. A wave of hushed discussion rose among the guests. "Robert, Claire, do you dare tell everyone here that you did not deliberately switch the babies 18 years ago?" Robert's face turned deathly pale in an instant. Claire pointed at me with a trembling hand. You're making vicious accusations. You know better than anyone whether I'm making accusations." I gave a cold laugh and turned my gaze toward my ex-fiancé. "Ethan, as my fiancé, you stayed silent while the Bennett family humiliated me like this. And you let your sweetheart hang on your arm. How can you face the engagement our two families arranged years ago?" Ethan's face shifted between green and white, and he shook off Sophia's hand before striding forward and pointing at me as he cursed. "Ava, don't be ungrateful. The Bennett family raised you for 18 years, and giving you shares is already a kindness. Are you making up this ridiculous lie to slander us because you want to climb into my uncle's bed?" He paused, his tone full of contempt. "Have you even looked in the mirror lately? Do you know what kind of man my uncle is? And do you really think he would want you?" Sophia spoke at just the right moment, her voice choked with tears, as if she had suffered some unbearable wrong. "Ava, how could you talk about mom and dad like that? I know you blame me, and I know you think I came back and stole everything from you. But blood is something no one can change. Ethan only feels bad for me, and nothing happened between us. As for Mr. Reed, Ava, you can't provoke someone like that just because you want revenge on us." Her words sounded like she was thinking of me, but every single line was meant to prove that I was a jealous lunatic clinging to power. The guests' gazes became even more loaded, and it was obvious that they believed her. I did not defend myself, and simply raised my glass toward an empty seat below the stage with the name card Adrian Reed on it. "You'll know soon enough whether I'm lying. Security, throw this lunatic out." When Robert realized reason would not work, he finally dropped the mask and shouted toward the audience. Several uniformed guards immediately rushed toward the stage. The guests stepped back one after another, afraid of being dragged into the farce. Ethan and Sophia both smiled in satisfaction. I stood still and did not move, only watching them quietly. Just as a guard's hand was about to touch me, the ballroom doors were suddenly pushed open from outside. A group of men in black suits walked in, their presence so powerful that anyone could tell they were not people to mess with. And leading them was a meticulous middle-aged man wearing gold-rimmed glasses. He walked straight onto the stage, ignored everyone, and first bowed slightly to me. "Miss Bennett, I apologize for the fright." Then he turned to the confused guards, and his gaze became sharp in an instant. "Let one of you try touching her." The guards were intimidated by his presence, and all took a step back. Robert did not know him, and forced himself to question him. "Who are you people? Who let you in?" The middle-aged man pushed up his glasses, took a document from his briefcase, and announced into the microphone, in a tone without any emotion. "I am Martin Hale, Mr. Adrian Reed's chief attorney. Entrusted by Mr. Reed, I hereby state that Ava is indeed carrying Mr. Reed's child, and as the first in line to inherit from Mr. Reed, she will legally hold inheritance rights to all assets under Mr. Reed's name." He paused and looked around at the crowd below the stage, who had all gone completely rigid. "This statement has been notarized and carries full legal force. From this moment forward, any individual or organization that threatens, slanders, or harms Ava or the fetus she carries will be held fully legally responsible by Reed Group's legal department, with no exceptions." The entire ballroom went silent as death. Everyone looked as if someone had pressed pause, and the shock on their faces was beyond words. Robert and Claire opened their mouths but could not say a single word. Sophia's face turned as white as paper, and her body swayed so badly that Ethan Reed had to hold her up. As for Ethan Reed, his expression was the most entertaining. Shock, disbelief, and confusion crossed his face, before finally turning into the rage of someone humiliated. He never could have imagined that the uncle he had never bothered to respect, the business emperor rumored to have no interest in women, would truly become involved with Ava. And Adrian had done it in an unprecedentedly public way, giving Ethan, the Reed family, and the Bennett family a loud slap in the face. Attorney Hale did not bother with them anymore, and when he turned back to me, his attitude instantly became respectful again. Miss Bennett, this place is too chaotic and not suitable for you or the baby to rest. Mr. Reed has already arranged a residence for you, so please come with us. After speaking, he made an inviting gesture, and the men in black behind him immediately split into two lines, opening a path for me. I nodded and walked down from the stage with my head held high under everyone's complicated gazes. When I passed Sophia and Ethan, I stopped. I looked at their devastated expressions and smiled as I spoke. I told you that you would know soon enough whether I was lying. Sophia, Ethan, this is only the beginning. I will settle every debt between us, one by one, nice and slow. After saying that, I did not look at them again and followed Attorney Hale straight out of that disgusting place. I knew that from the moment I walked out of those doors, a storm sweeping through the entire upper class was about to begin, and I would be at the center of that storm. After leaving the ballroom, I was taken directly to a heavily guarded villa community. Attorney Hale walked me to the door and handed me a black card and a new phone. Miss Bennett, this is for your living expenses, and there is no limit. My number is saved in the phone, so you can contact me 24 hours a day if you need anything. Mr. Reed is handling some business overseas right now, and he will come see you as soon as he returns. I took the items and thanked him. Attorney Hale nodded, then left with his people. I walked into the villa and looked at the luxurious but cold house, while memories from my past life and this life tangled together and left me dazed. I actually did not know Adrian Reed, or rather, in my last life, I had only seen him a few times on financial news. He was Ethan Reed's uncle, but he was a taboo in the Reed family. No one dared mention his name in Ethan's presence. Rumor said he was ruthless, self-made, and had built a massive business empire overseas, making him someone who truly stood at the top of the pyramid. The reason I told that lie at the gala was nothing more than a desperate gamble when I had no other way out. I bet that Adrian Reed did not get along with his nephew Ethan Reed, and I bet that he would enjoy seeing the Reed family and the Bennett family lose face. I did not expect to win the bet. Adrian Reed not only played along with me, but he also did it so thoroughly that he cut off all my escape routes and pushed me into a completely new and unknown situation. Early the next morning, the drama at the Bennett family's birthday gala swept across the internet. The Bennett family and Ethan Reed had clearly joined forces on PR, and the online comments almost all smeared and attacked me. They painted me as a gold digger who was twisted by jealousy, would do anything for money, and had falsely accused others after failing to latch onto the wealthy. Meanwhile, Sophia became the kind, innocent, perfect victim hurt by her evil sister. The attached photo showed her, weakly, lying in a hospital bed, with Ethan Reed lovingly staying by her side. As I looked at those reports, that twisted right and wrong, I felt no anger at all and only found them ridiculous. This was their usual trick, and in my last life, this was exactly how they ruined my reputation step by step until I was isolated and helpless. My phone rang, and it was Attorney Hale. Miss Bennett, do you need us to handle the public opinion online? No need, I answered calmly. Let them make noise, and the louder it gets, the harder they will fall when the truth comes out. Understood. Attorney Hale did not ask further. Also, the legal process to sever your adoption relationship with the Bennett family has already started, and these are the documents you need to sign. So I will have someone deliver them to you shortly. Okay, thank you. After hanging up, I looked at the bright sunlight outside the window, and my heart was perfectly calm. The Bennett family, Ethan, and Sophia. I had seen enough of your performance. Now it was my turn to take the stage.